Good morning or good evening to you, wherever you are watching this anywhere in the world. This is my guide to umpiring in cricket. So first, let me start by saying I'm not going to cover the laws of cricket in step-by-step detail. You can go to the MCC website, you can view them there, you can download the PDF, you can use it for your own purposes. Every umpire should be studying the laws of cricket well before they step onto the field of play. The pitch, the dimensions of the pitch are defined in the laws of cricket. It is 2012 centimetres from stump to stump. It is 305 centimetres wide. It's important to learn the names of three creases that are marked on that pitch. The first is the bowling crease, which runs through the line of the stumps. The next is the popping crease, which runs a little way, 122 centimetres in front of the bowling crease. And we'll see the use of that popping crease later in the video when we're discussing the no ball law. The return crease runs orthogonally to the bowling crease and the popping crease and runs along the edge of the pitch. We'll see the use of the return crease later in the video. Where do you stand? Firstly, the bowler's end umpire standing at the non-striker's end should stand behind the stumps as far back as comfortable. You need to stand in a direct line between middle stump and middle stump. You may find it more comfortable to stand further back with a fast bowler operating or closer to the stumps with a spin bowler operating. The square leg umpire should stand in line with the popping crease and not the bowling crease, unless there's a strong reason to do otherwise. And I've had commentators say that where they need to check for the movement of the wicketkeeper, it may be more convenient to stand in line with the bowling crease, but as a general case, I would advise to stand in line with the popping crease. You may sometimes change your standing position. For example, on request, the bowler or the fielding skipper may ask the bowler's end umpire to stand further back or further forwards so as to not interfere with the bowler's run-up. You should accept that request. The bowler may not ask you to stand further to one side, to the offside of the leg side. You must stand in line stump to stump. Should the bowler ask you to move to one side, you may politely decline that request. The square leg umpire. The fielding skipper may ask you to stand further back or further forwards so as not to interfere with the fielding positions. You can politely accept that request. The skipper may not ask you to stand further to one side. If you're asked to stand off to one side of the popping crease, you may politely decline that request. You may, as square leg umpire, choose to stand on the offside, that is at square point, for any reason. For example, if the sun is in your eyes, the wind direction is bothering you, etc., the only requirement is that you must inform the fielding skipper of your decision to change sides. You do not need to change sides with each batter. For example, if you have a left or right-handed batting combination at the wicket, you may stay where it best suits you to stand, but not need to change sides with every fielding change. Learn your signals, and these are very important. But I would guess that most of these are familiar to anyone that's even watched a game of cricket, such as signalling 4 runs, 6 runs, leg byes, wide balls, no balls, etc. 2 that may be confusing for new umpires is signalling penalty runs. You signal penalty runs by bringing one hand across to the opposite side shoulder like this. You signal 5 penalty runs to the batting side by tapping the shoulder. And you can remember that because batters tap the ball. You can signal 5 penalty runs to the fielding side by placing your hand on the shoulder, and you remember that by remembering that fielders stand in place on the field. Is the batter ready? It is your important duty on the field to inform the batter and the bowler of what's about to happen. Firstly, you need to inform the batter of the bowling arm and the bowling side. For example, calling left arm over, left arm round, etc. Incidentally, if you make a call of left arm over and the bowler changes their bowling side or bowling arm without informing you and without you informing the striker, that is a no ball. Your arm goes out to the bowling side and it informs the bowler that the striker is not ready. So when your arm is out to the bowling side, the striker is not ready to face, the bowler may not commence their run-up. You may check around the field to make sure that no fielders are moving laterally to the striker before lowering your arm. Otherwise, if the striker appears to be ready, you may lower your arm to indicate to the bowler that the striker is ready. If the bowler runs in and commences a delivery before you have lowered your arm, you may signal dead ball. The non-striker is not your problem. If the striker is ready to face the ball and the bowler is ready to deliver and the non-striker is still fidgeting with their gear or adjusting their gloves or whatever, you do not need to hold up play to wait for the non-striker to be ready. As the bowler runs in, you have three things in your routine. You start with your eyes open and down, watching the bowlers run up. The first thing you check is the back foot no ball, then the front foot no ball. Your eyes then come up and look down the pitch to judge LBWs, wide deliveries, etc. Things to note about the feet during the bowling stride. In the last stride, the back foot must land entirely inside the return crease. The return crease is unlimited in length, so it doesn't matter how far back the bowler is bowling from, the back foot must land inside the return crease, must not be touching that return crease at all. Otherwise, that is a no ball. Some part of the front foot must be behind the popping crease, raised or grounded. Some part of the front foot may be over the popping crease as long as some part of the front foot is behind that crease. And something that you don't see very often, but I have seen it once in a game, the bowler may not cross the middle stump to middle stump line during the bowling stride. That is, they may not run in from the offside, cross across that line in front of the stumps and bowl somewhere from around leg stump. That is a no ball if they do that. Other things that happen on the field or to the bowler that cause a no ball call. No throwing, no underarm deliveries, they are no balls. If the bowler breaks the wicket accidentally or deliberately during the delivery action, that is a no ball. If the ball bounces more than once before reaching the striker, if it rolls on the pitch, or if it lands off the pitch, that is a no ball. Something I'm sure everybody is aware of, if the ball reaches the striker on the full on or above waist height, we call that a no ball. We call that a beamer. We call that a no ball even if the batter scores runs. So if they hit the ball out to the boundary, score a 4 or a 6, it is still a no ball. If you are unsure of the height of the ball as it reached the batter, you may confirm with the square leg umpire. And if you're unsure, the two of you confirm, and the square leg umpire has confirmed that in his opinion, it reached the batting position above the batter's waist height, you may signal a no ball even if the ball has been made dead at that point. In our local league, we allow a bowler 1 bouncer per over. We warn the bowler after the first bouncer. A second or subsequent bouncer is a no ball. That rule may be different in sixes cricket. There are fielding restrictions, both in our local league laws to deal with T20 cricket. One-day cricket may have different fielding restrictions. There are fielding restrictions maintained in the laws of cricket, such as no more than 2 fielders behind square on the leg side. Any violation of those fielding restrictions is now a no ball. A wide delivery, and there have been some law changes this year, mostly in the area of clarification, but it has caused a little bit of confusion, although I would expect it to be causing a bit of clarification. Once you understand the wide law as it is now written in the most recent draft of the laws of cricket, it does make a lot more sense. So let's look at the fundamentals of the law, which state the ball will be considered as passing wide of the striker unless it is sufficiently within reach for him or her to be able to hit it with the bat by means of a normal cricket stroke. And in limited overs cricket especially, playing conditions generally state that deliveries to the leg side of the batter are called wide. So let's look at first a few of the red dots on that diagram there. Firstly, above the batter's head. Now, admittedly, a batter could reach up into the sky with their bat and hit that ball, but that is not a normal cricket stroke. So you need to call that a wide. A ball that is pitched well high and well wide of the batter, again, the batter could do some kind of fencing lunge out towards the ball to try to hit it with the tip of the bat. That is not a normal cricket stroke, and the batter is entitled for you to call that delivery a wide. A ball pitched inside the tram lines, if they're marked on the pitches that you use, is not automatically not a wide. If a ball is well high of the batter's reach, even inside the tram lines, that may be called a wide. Consider that from where the batter's normal stance, they may move their bat in an arc. There are places inside that arc where the batter can strike the ball with a normal cricket stroke. Anything outside of that arc is a wide. Something else to remember is that the ball is not a wide if the batter hits the ball or the bat with any part of their body. So, if the batter hits the ball or the ball hits the batter on any part of their body. So, for example, if the ball is well wide of the batter, but they reach out and touch it with the end of the bat, that is automatically not a wide. Let's look at leg side. And the implication of one of the law changes is here. In limited overs cricket especially, anything passing down of the leg side of the batter in a normal batting position is a wide. A ball passing between the batter and the stumps or over leg stump from that batter's normal position, a normal cricket stroke could be played. That cannot be called a wide. The clarification in the laws this year is that the batter's position can be judged from any point where the batter was standing from the time the ball came into play until the time the ball passes the batter. That includes any time when the bowler is in their run-up and any time after the ball has left the bowler's hand. One implication of this is that the batter may not manufacture a wide by walking to the offside and allowing the ball to pass to the leg side of the batter when the ball would ordinarily be not a wide. Any movement by the striker that causes the ball to pass wide when it otherwise would not be a wide, the umpire shall not call it wide. Let's look at offside wides. Assuming the batter is standing in place, there are many of those red dots which are on the offside. A ball out of reach of the batter may be called wide. A batter may prevent a ball outside the off stump from being called a wide by moving towards the ball and attempting a stroke, provided that the movement and the stroke are normal cricket. So the batter taking a step forwards and attempting a square cut at an otherwise wide delivery and bringing that delivery in reach of the bat to play a normal square cut on that delivery means that that delivery is now no longer a wide. Remember the change to the laws that imply that the delivery in reach of anywhere the batter was standing while the ball was in play is now not a wide. However, and this may vary in your local league, but in general case, moving to the offside and indicating by not playing a stroke that a delivery cannot be reached does not prevent the wide call. The batter, for example, moves across to the off and shoulders their arms at the ball, points the bat in the direction of the ball, whether they've moved or not, without intending to play a stroke, perhaps indicates with the bat, look, umpire, I can't possibly reach that ball. That does not prevent you from calling a wide, as the batter is clearly not intending to play a stroke. Now, I want to finish on one important point about wide balls that are too high. A short pitched ball that is not a no ball is a wide if it goes over the batter's head in a position where the batter could not play a normal cricket stroke at that delivery. However, something in the laws of cricket you need to be aware of is that any no ball call overrides any wide call. For example, a beamer, a delivery bowled on the full over the batter's head, is automatically a no ball because it is above the waist height, not a wide. So you may signal no ball for that delivery, you may not signal wide. Do not make the mistake of signaling both no ball and wide for the same delivery. That will just simply confuse the scorers. You don't want to do that. Other signals you need to remember. Remember to signal boundaries both on and off the field. You need the scorers to be able to clearly see your signal. The scorers are standing or seated down past the batter and you're on the far side of the field. You may need to step slightly to one side to help the fielders see your signal. If a boundary is struck, a ball is struck and it lands very near the boundary rope and you're not sure if it's a 4 or a 6, please get confirmation from the square leg umpire or anyone else who is out there to see it. Your view may not be perfect from the umpiring position. So let's talk about dead balls, and there are things that make a ball dead. Firstly, if the ball reaches the hands of the wicketkeeper or the bowler and becomes stationary, and the fielders indicate that they no longer consider the ball to be in play, that is a dead ball. If both batters have ceased to regard the ball as being in play, for example, they've tapped down inside the crease, they are clearly not attempting to run. They've left the crease to move a little bit of rubbish or to talk to their batting partner, that is dead ball. When the ball reaches the boundary, reaching the boundary automatically makes the ball dead. The boundary line is a dead ball line and the batters may not continue to make runs after the ball reaches the boundary. If a batter is dismissed, that is, if the fielders make an appeal, that appeal is upheld by the umpire who raises the finger, the ball is immediately dead. And there is an important change to the laws this year, and that is there is no reverting of a dead ball call. So here's an example. The fielders have appealed. The umpire gives the batter out. Some review of that decision is made through some off-field or on-field review, and the decision to give the batter out is overturned by the umpire, who signals the batter is not out. That overturning of the not out decision does not stop the ball being dead. The ball continues to be dead from the point the batter is dismissed and remains dead thereafter. If a ball becomes trapped in the clothing of a batter or an umpire, the ball is dead. If any injury occurs on the field and you as an umpire consider that needs some kind of treatment, you may call dead ball. That makes the ball dead. The ball ceases to be dead and becomes in play again once the bowler starts their run-up, not before, not while they're standing around at their running point talking to the field. Once they commence their run-up, the ball is now live and in play again. During the over, let's make some calls. Firstly, on the fourth delivery being made dead, the two umpires would normally confirm on the field, maybe a two-finger signal like this over one side or over the shirt, depending on what colour clothing you're wearing. If you're unsure how many balls have been bowled, you can check with the scorers. Once the fifth delivery has been made dead, the bowler's end umpire would normally call last ball to the batters and the bowlers in the area. Once the sixth delivery of the over has been made dead, the umpire calls over to the batters and the bowler. Calling over automatically makes the ball dead, even if no other dead ball condition has been made prior to that. So once you've called over, any attempt to run out a batter as he's moving away from his crease is null and void, because the call of over makes the ball dead. Something to remember about appeals, and I covered this in one of my other training videos, the volume of the appeal is not to be taken into consideration when deciding whether or not the batter is out. Another thing about appeals is neither umpire is to give a batter out without an appeal. If the fielders or the bowler neglect to appeal, the batter cannot be given out. If the fielding skipper, after consideration, withdraws an appeal for reasons of sportsmanship, or after discussing with a fielder, maybe the fielder indicates that he actually didn't take that catch cleanly and it touched the ground, the fielding skipper may elect to withdraw an appeal. That makes the batter not out. Once the appeal is withdrawn, it no longer exists. A batter may not be given out without an appeal. There are 10 ways of getting out in cricket. You should know all of these. You can be bowled, caught, hit the ball twice, hit wicket, leg before wicket, obstructing the field. It used to be the case that you could be given out handling the ball. That is no longer a method of getting out. That now comes under obstructing the field. If a batter handles the ball in such a way that it obstructs the fielders may appeal and the batter may be given out. Of course, a batter may be given run out or stumped if they're out of their crease. Under certain conditions, a batter may retire out. And under our local playing conditions, the batter has 90 seconds from the previous dismissal to reach the playing crease. Otherwise, on appeal, a batter may be timed out. Penalty runs. Now, the number of cases in which you can award penalty runs to either side has increased with law changes this year, and you need to be aware of some of these. Unfair movement by the fielding side, including the wicketkeeper. That is, the wicketkeeper moving in towards the stumps or towards the batter while the bowler is in their run-up, is unfair movement, and that is now 5 penalty runs to the batting side. Unfair play by either side, including ball tampering, is 5 penalty runs. If a player is clearly time wasting, especially in a limited overs game, you may issue a warning. A second or subsequent time wasting offence comes with an award of 5 penalty runs to the other side. If the fielding side has, for example, discarded a helmet or other equipment on the field, willfully or accidentally, then a ball striking that discarded equipment is 5 penalty runs to the batting side. The use of saliva on the match ball is 5 penalty runs, and the ball must also be replaced. It doesn't matter whether you spit on your hands or spit on the ball, spit on your hands and rub the hands on the ball. That is the use of saliva. That comes with an award of 5 penalty runs to the other side, and the ball must be replaced. There are 4 levels of offences. A bad play listed in the laws of cricket. After a level 1 offence, a warning may be given. If a second level 1 offence occurs, that level 1 offence carries an award of 5 penalty runs to the opposition. Any level 2 or higher offence with or without a warning carries an award of 5 penalty runs. Some things to remember on the field as an umpire. Remember to call no ball when the ball lands off the pitch or beamers, even if the batter has hit the ball. One of the things I like to do, especially with a back foot or a front foot no ball, is call no ball very early and very loudly with my hand out to one side, indicating a no ball call as early as I possibly can, because the batter is entitled to know that the ball approaching him is a no ball and he cannot be given out off of that no ball. Call and signal free hit after a no ball. Everybody knows that no balls carry an award of free hit, especially in limited overs cricket. They carry a free hit after a no ball. Please remember to signal that free hit. It is unfair to the players if a free hit occurs, but you have not signalled it. Signal leg byes or byes when the runs are complete and the ball has been made dead. Obviously, if the batter does not hit the ball with the bat, they run anyway, whether it's come off the pad or straight through everybody. You do not need to interrupt play or interrupt the batter's running to signal leg bye or bye straight away. You can wait until the ball is dead, at which point you can turn to the scorers and signal bye or leg bye appropriate. One thing not to do not wave your hand in the air to attract the attention of the scorers to say you're about to signal. The scorers will assume that you're signalling byes with your hand up in the air because that is a bye signal. Questions. The batters, the bowler, or the fielding skipper are entitled to ask questions of the umpire. Questions should be asked in a polite and respectful manner. When they're asked in a polite and respectful manner, you should answer those questions directly, also in a polite and respectful manner. You should not discourage players from asking questions. Do not say things like, look, go check the laws, or I'm not going to answer that question, or that's none of your business. Always answer questions politely and respectfully. Remember that not every player can remember all of the laws of cricket. They may simply have forgotten something. Some questions you're likely to get on the field. Was that or was that not a wide? Why was that a no ball? Players may not remember all of the no ball rules. Why was that out or not out, especially LBW decisions? How many overs has such and such a bowler bowled? You may refer this to the scorers. How much time have we played? How much time do we have remaining? Again, you may refer that question to the scorers if you're not carrying a watch on the field. Communication with the players. If you're unsure about a leg bye or a bye, it's okay to ask the striker if he or she believes they hit the ball. There's nothing worse than being a 99 not out. You've hit the ball. The umpire has not seen your strike or heard your strike of the ball. It's then touched your leg. You've run off, made that signal, and the umpire signals leg bye, and you're 99 not out. You want that century. So please, you can check with the batter that if they believe they hit the ball. Otherwise, in signalling a decision, there's no need to explain the decision unless you're specifically asked. Remember the calls of last ball and over. These are mostly courtesy calls. They're not covered in the laws of cricket, but these are things that we do on the field to make the players happy. On the subject of making the players happy, what is the role of the umpire? We, the umpires, we're there to officiate the game for the benefit of the players and the spectators. We are not there to play. We are not there to watch. What do the players and spectators want? They want consistency. They want fairness. They want impartiality. Overall, they want a competition that is decided on the last day of the competition, the end of the season, in the final, by the skill of the players. They do not want a game that is decided by an incorrect or inconsistent umpiring decision. Overall, be consistent. Be aware of the laws of cricket. The players are frequently not aware of the laws of cricket. Be aware of possible viewpoint and parallax errors. Cover that in training elsewhere. Judge the same ball the same way each and every time. If you are certain you heard that loud click on the bat as the ball went past the batter, or the ball then proceeds into the umpire's gloves and the players come up in an appeal for that caught behind, either always give that out or always give that not out. Don't let your own personal opinions or feelings come into that decision-making process. Final slide about copyright, as it is often the case. You may copy this training. You may adapt it to your own league and requirements. You may add sections to it to cover your local playing conditions or rules. The laws of cricket are copyright to the Marylebone Cricket Club. You can download them and use them for your own purposes. You may not alter them. You may not distribute altered versions of those laws of the game of cricket. They are copyright. Thank you very much for watching.